On this, it's kind of an impromptu video. I'm gonna light yet another incense. Um, Once these are gone, I'm gonna donate this. I'm on my minimalism journey. Check out my minimalism videos. Um, Personally, I guess before I get into this topic, I don't want to burn incense because I don't know how healthy that is to burn these things. I don't know where it's made. I know it comes from India, but I don't know the ingredients. I don't know the integrity. It's Nang Champa, but I want my space to be clean and clear. And the only thing I would be burning are herbs or oils, but mostly just herbs like sage, Palo Santo, eucalyptus, rosemary, that type of stuff. But I just really want to, um, strip down everything over time. So check out my minimalism videos if you haven't. All right, dear Americans, we are being tested. And I welcome all viewers and all people from walks of life from all over the country, from all outside the country, all over the world. Some of you are from different spaces and places. But I have to say this: we are being tested, and this is specifically for us because we, quote unquote, are a world power, world leader, which that's been shifting for the past probably 20 or 30 years now. But we see it and we feel it now. Due to the recent events that are taking place, and look, I don't own a television. I will never own a television. I will never have a television in my home, ever. Having a laptop is already, it's good enough, okay? Having a cell phone, that's fine, but I will never own a television. But currently, as a healthcare professional, patients are allowed to have a flat screen TV in their room, and the news has just been popping off. And I'll go in giving care, but I'll catch wind of what's going on, and also on the internet from time to time. But there's been the current events that are happening, like we have the shooting by Sonia Massey, I believe that's how you pronounce her last name, who was shot by a police officer. We have American flags being burned and Palestinian flags being put up and Hamas written on everything on Capitol Hill, and then we have the recent assassination attempt on President or former President Trump's life. If you can see beyond, if you can recognize the patterns, I have a series called Cycles and Seasons. Check that series out, where I deal with the cyclical time and where you can predict events, you can predict certain happenings within your own personal life, and even on a collective scale, by observing patterns within your existence, within history, right? You guys, we're being played. We are being tested. We're being stretched. This is a test. And whether we pass or fail is up to it's up to us. It's up to the choices and decisions that we're making right now that will dictate the great unfolding. the shootings, the protests, the riots, and now we have the assassination attempt. You guys, all of this is nothing new. Nothing new. There's nothing new under the sun. These are tactics to keep us divided within ourselves, within our homes, within our communities, within our states, within our culture, within our social ideology. It is to keep us divided. This is the goal of the shadow elite. They cannot create. The only action and behavior that they can commit to is destruction. Pay attention to the patterns. And for those of you who believe that what's currently going on in the political and economic spheres, and you think you're above them and it won't touch you, it won't affect you, and you carry on in your day-to-day life. And that's one of the pitfalls, I think, culturally being an American and living in America or the USA, is we Americans lack solidarity. It's like an unhealthy, very tunnel vision. I'm take care of mine, you take care of yours approach. It is not, the American culture is not community based. It's not. It's all about the self. It's all about self-service and ego. I get mine, you go get yours over there. Don't bother me. Go fight for your own. Get yourself out of the hole. And that's embedded in American culture. That will be our downfall as a nation in time. If everybody is focused on individuality to the degree, that they don't trust their neighbor, they don't trust their family, they don't even trust their spouse, they don't trust their job, they don't trust, it's very sad. We are being tested through repeated patterns of events. Wasn't there a woman, a beautiful Black American woman, also shot and killed by a cop, and her name was Sonia Blair or Sasha Blair? I have to look it up. And it was around election time. There were riots around election time. George Floyd. Come on. What do you think they're doing? These riots, the current riot in the Capitol Hill with the burning of the flag, that's to cause upheaval and anger for the far right, for the conservatives, to further cause division for them. And then you have the recent shooting of Sonia by the police officer to also incense the Black community so that they can fear the cops, have anger towards the police, and hunker down on the liberal side. Both sides are being caught on fire to create a bigger fire. Americans were being manipulated emotionally. It's all a really big distraction. And it's hard. It's a very difficult test because it deals, you have to, if you are Black, if you happen to be Black, if you happen to be Jewish, right, and you see, you're walking down Capitol Hill and you see Hamas, Hamas, Hamas written everywhere, on the stones on the wall in Washington, you're going to feel a certain way. If you're a patriotic American and you see American flag being burned, you're going to feel a certain way. You know? If you see yet another black, young, beautiful woman who she was troubled, she was a psychiatric patient, schizophrenic, but you see yet another black woman shot down by authority, by the police, you're going to feel a certain way. They are using our feelings as fuel to manipulate because they're not getting their way. The shadow elite, they're very nefarious. I gotta charge my laptop. This is, and for people to say, I don't really care, it has nothing to do with me, what's happening. And I feel like that's why a lot of what's angering most Americans and people in the Western world is that just nonchalant, very neutral, I don't care because it's not bothering me. It's not affecting me. Why should I care? You know? Why should I bother? It's not in my neighborhood. But then I guess all you can do is be the master of yourself, right? But to my spiritualists out there, my Buddhists out there, what are your viewpoints on this? Because I find that a lot of people they put themselves above what's taking place in the world that's in time will affect them. It's going to affect your bank account. It's going to affect how you view the community and how the community views you. It's going to affect your spending. It's going to affect how you engage with your reality. All of this psychological manipulation done by the shadow elite. Yes, call me a conspiracy theorist, but that's what I believe. Because the patterns, as a 35-year-old woman, you know, I'm noticing the patterns. It's so clear. So I can't side with just one side of anything. I can't be on the left or right or anti this or pro that because I see the bigger picture. I see the manipulation. I see the darkness. It is a spiritual warfare. This is spiritual warfare. When you get down to the nitty-gritty. I'm drinking ginkgo biloba and ginseng. It's good for brain health. Instead of caffeine, ginkgo biloba and ginseng. Caffeine is too hard. Unless caffeine, I would recommend caffeine if, as a laxative. And maybe a stimulant if you need it. But caffeine it could be too hard on the body and the brain. But yeah, is anyone else seeing this? Or are some of you guys kind of numb? And so, because I've been numb to it. After a while, after the last massive national, after George Floyd, and I think there was another shooting that they put on the news because they don't put on the news or they don't share every single, crime committed by cops in shooting, my people. on the news. Brittany Garner, I think that's another one, right? All of that is to politically manipulate anyone else seeing what I'm seeing. I can't be the only one. But a lot of people are numb to it. Oh, another shooting. Oh, another shootout at a school. Oh, another this. Oh, okay. It's like it's normalized chaos. So when they really want to push through with their agenda, we're numb to it. But that's what they're doing right now. They're dividing and dividing and dividing. They're just causing more and more and more division. Americans. Even in the liberal LGBTQIA plus community, there's division now. Yeah, right? You have trans against the LGB. It's insane. Like, I can't be the only one seeing this. And anything that you find yourself emotionally connected to, they're going to manipulate it. I feel like the only way to safeguard yourself is to not react emotionally, because that's the food that feeds that frequency that they're using to keep people divided. Yes, I would suggest stock up on your food, stock up on your water. Make sure you get some candles. Even the blackout, the global, there's something with the cybersecurity that went down, and because they linked so many companies together with this system, it just affected so many different companies worldwide. My devices were fine. I didn't have any issues with my phone or laptop or internet connection. But with this specific company, they did. It's I know I can't be the only one, but I think the only way is to make sure that you don't lose your emotional self into the game that they're playing. Because I can over identify and be all out, like so angered about, the passing of this beautiful woman, shot pinpoint blank in the head. Bah! Just, and they manipulated her. That's the thing. I haven't watched the video. I don't need to watch the video. I don't need to. I already know. And she said, I heard this, she said, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. And that triggered it triggered the demon inside the cop. Yes, I believe people have demons and people have angels attached to their human form. Okay? We're going to see more and more and more of the spiritual warfare manifested. Literally, we're going to see more and more of the spiritual, because the spiritual warfare has been going on. People just can't really see it unless you have eyes to see and ears to hear and a heart that is open. You'll be able to see it. Not all the time. I don't see it all the time, but I have seen it. Yes, for sure. I believe in that wholeheartedly. We're going to see more of that. She rebuked that man in the name of her God, because she sensed, she felt it, she felt a shift, and he capped her. He put 3 bullets in her. That was demonic. Just like with the assassin, like, all of this has already been done. Nothing's new. Nothing is new under the sun. Like, nothing is new under the sun. Human beings have been doing stuff like this all the time. Okay? Julius Caesar, come on. Et tu, Brutus? Et tu? That's what Julius Caesar was quoting when, Brutus betrayed him and they stabbed him to death. Assassinated him, right? It's part of history. It's part of his story. It's part of his story. And so, yeah, I'm like, Americans, please look beyond what you can see. I think I would have made a great detective because psychology in people and spirituality of people and patterns, behavioral patterns, cyclical patterns, like I'm interested in that stuff. There's always a motive. There's always intention behind things. People will call the cop racist. That's the cover. They want you to believe that it's about race. No. It's a ploy to keep us at a certain frequency. They use what is the weakest link in each sect, in each division. For conservatives or right-wing people, nationalists of America, seeing an American flag being burned down by, people who are in support of an Arab culture, that's triggering for them. It brings them down to a certain frequency. Do you see the manipulation? The shadow elite oh my gosh, it's so clear. They need humanity at a specific frequency. Any form of unification between the Hebrews and the Palestinians and the U.S. Because here's the thing, the U.S. is a world power. It is a leader. And the leader of the world is going through growing pains right now because of the rise of the matriarch. That matriarchal energy is coming through regardless, and they can't stop it. The shadow elite is trying to hurry and push and implement. But in order to do that, this is a spiritual, metaphysical war. And manifest now. It's lonely for those of us who can see, because everyone wants you to side with them. I agree with most and I disagree with most. So thus, where do I fit in? Nowhere. So it's lonely. Oh, do I lose my black card because I don't side with certain views? Right? When they were chanting Black Lives Matter out in the street, chanting out to the universe, it was a chant. It was a frequency spoken out to the universe that, wow. So Black lives don't matter. That's what the universe was hearing. I don't know. I don't agree with it. All lives matter to me. All lives do. No life over another life. And then when you do more research into the BLM, you realize it's a Marxist group. So people who don't want to get caught up in the game, where do we go? I guess the only solution is to strengthen our inner core and be in tune with the Most High, with Source. Make sure that we're in alignment of our mind, heart, body, spirit. Eat healthy. Love yourself. Love others around you. Be intentional by what you say and by what you do and what you create. But other than that, I don't have anything else to suggest because it's getting really, it's gonna get really real out here. People now have to watch what they say. I work with, in the hospital, and like everyone, I'll have grown people older than me, like they're in their 60s, 70s, and they're like, I'm scared. I had a woman say, oh, she apologized. She used the word black to describe a person. Okay, a woman I was working with, and she later on apologized. She goes, I'm sorry. Is it black? Is it African American? I'm so sorry if I offended. What? People are scared to lose their jobs. I worked with a Palestinian doctor, a physician, and he, struggling emotionally. And he looked me in my face. He's a traveling doctor. And he said, yeah, back in my home state where I work, I can't talk about Palestine. Otherwise, I'll get in trouble. What kind of world do we live in? This is what's happening. I don't even know if I'm going to post this. I don't know. It's 25 minutes long, 27 minutes long, and I like to keep my videos under, 20 minutes at max. So, the Americans, we're being tested, and we're being emotionally and psychologically manipulated. Wake up. Wake up.